Hi there, I hope you're having a great day. Today in this video I'm going to be showing you how I made this low poly drone enemy in Blender that I'm going to be using in a scrolling shooter game that I'm currently working on. I plan to release more game dev videos related to Unity and Blender, so if that sounds like something you're interested in, then please subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and let's get on with making this model. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cube and I'm going to cut it in half using Ctrl R for a loop cut. I'm going to delete one side of it and then I'm going to add a mirror modifier. I have to change the axis it's on because I cut it down the Y axis, but this just makes it so everything I do on one side is translated onto the other side. We're going to take this cube and scale it on the Z axis to make it a bit thinner, then scale it on the X axis to make it longer, add a couple of loop cuts down the middle of it. I'm then going to grab all the vertices on the edge here. I'm going to then scale them down on the X and bring them out on the Y and then move them back on the X. I'm then going to grab these loop cuts and GG to edge slide and bring them down a bit. Just give myself some space. I'm going to grab these vertices here in the middle, press G then Z to bring them up a bit, then press scale them on the X to bring them in. I guess I want to bring this one out a bit more. Also need to check that the mirror modifier has got clipping turned on, because at the moment if we move these out, as you can see it's not clipping together, it's creating a hole. So we just tick clipping and then there we go, they're stuck together. I'm going to grab these two vertices on the top here and bring them up as well a little bit to create a slight curve. And then I'm going to bring these back. I'm going to grab the faces at the end of the wings and just press E to extrude, bring that out a bit, scale it down, and then bring it up on the Z axis a little bit. I'm going to grab this face here at the front, press I to inset, bring that in, scale it a little bit on the Z, then move that in on the X. Now I'm going to flip around to the back, grab this face on the back here, press E to extrude and bring that out. I want that to go down, scale it to be a bit smaller, E to extrude again, scale that down without moving it, E to extrude a second time and move that in. I'm going to grab this vertex at the top here, bring it back to make that a bit more open. I'm now going to put two loop cuts across the mesh, grab these faces, E to extrude, and I'm going to bring them in a bit, scale them in and down. Now I'm just going to add some little details to it. A cylinder, I'm going to turn the vertices down to about 8 vertices, shrink it right down. It doesn't need to be super detailed because it's going to be quite far away from the player's screen. And I'm going to position this on the back, elongate this face in a little bit, and then going to duplicate that, make a smaller version just next to it. I'm actually going to put them slightly to the side to make it a bit more visually interesting rather than having everything be in the middle. I'm now going to add a sphere. I'm going to make the segments 8 and the rings also 8, bring that up and shrink that down, just stick it on top of these little poles. And the last thing I'm going to add to this little cube, shrink it down, Control B to bevel the entire cube like this, scale Z to make it a bit smaller. I'm also going to put a loop cut around it and then delete the lower half because they won't be seen anyway. And I'm going to position these on the top of the drone, just on the sides. And to make this super quick, add a mirror modifier to this, mirroring the object of the drone on the Y axis. I'm then going to add an array modifier, so we have 2 on this side, and then I'm going to add one more array modifier to then have them at the back as well. And now for color, I'm going to set the base color of the drone to be a nice dark purple, create a second material. I'm going to grab these faces in here and these faces. What's happening there? Some funky going ons happening there. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that does look a bit strange, so I'm just going to try and move these vertices about so that they're not intersecting each other anymore. Okay, that's not a massive problem. I've fixed the intersecting vertices. It's going to be far away from the screen anyway, so it probably won't be noticeable. Back to the shading. Alright, so yeah, select all the faces that I want to put the other material onto, which is all these, and assign that material. I'm going to make that a nice red. I'm going to put that same red on to these at the back here and onto the top of these. Then I'm going to make a new material for these. I'm just going to make that a silvery color. Before we export this into Unity, we're going to delete the light and the camera, so it only exports the mesh. We're then going to go to File, Export, and click FBX. Once you've named it and exported it, you also probably want to save your work because exporting it does not also save. And with that, we've created a little drone ship that I'm going to be using in one of the games I'm creating. If you enjoyed this video, please do like the video and subscribe. My next video is going to be in Unity making these drones move down the screen following a Bezier curve. Exciting, I know. And with that, that's the end of this video, so thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.